life's mission to share his knowledge with the world with scientific approach. With this mission, he initiated Rhythm Yoga Center and eventually created the fundamental life-changing program, Rhythm of Life. He conducts programs for various large corporations in Dubai and is a gifted presenter. He is regularly featured on TV and radio and has been awarded for the contribution to the World Health Program. He conducts workshops, forums and classes for several education institutions across UAE and India. He will be speaking about health and personal management. So please put your hands together to welcome Sanjeev Krishnan.
My car is given, other car is given, 16 people. No issue. We are not that much. Yeah.
Good afternoon to all of you. Now we are going entirely into a different phenomenon, from materialism to spiritualism. All of us, we are all looking for security in life by achieving so many things. But here, I am just giving you a gist of how you can have security for your life. You know, today yoga is a very common word, and I'm sure all of you would know what yoga is. Can anyone tell me what is yoga? Any idea about yoga? Anyone? Any idea what yoga is all about? Keep healthy, fantastic. You can give a clap, contribution. Yes, anything else? Mind and body coordination, fantastic. Very good. You know, if you ask me what is yoga, yoga is a fantastic knowledge that can help every human being in the world to enjoy every moment of your life. You know, today we say a house can never be a home until a husband and wife coordinates. Take out the word yoga from our head. Harmony is the key for the best of existence. When there is a coordination between a husband and wife, naturally the house is thriving in activity. Children are happy. And everything blossoms in the family. Same is the case if you see in the business. When partners are in harmony or in coordination, automatically the business thrives. Even in a society, for example, when we are in harmony, the harmony that we see here is because that is what brought in a fantastic program here also. Forget human beings. Even our cars, for example, if the equipments are not well synchronized, we cannot have a good fuel efficiency or engine life or a good journey. So we always go to a good mechanic. Coming back to human beings, if you observe, in our day-to-day life, whenever I am stressed or upset or depressed or agitated or with anxieties, naturally, as an individual, I am not in harmony. When I am not in harmony, how can I give my love and peace and happiness to my family, to my children, to the colleagues, to the friends? This is where we need to understand what is the science of yoga. We human beings are not just one integration of a personality. We have 5 dimensions in outlook. We call it as the body sheath, air sheath, mind sheath, intellectual sheath, and happiness sheath. What is this food sheath? Or we call it as Annamaya Kosha. Food sheath is how we eat, what I like to eat, and how I do exercise. So body frame is just an external part of my taste and exercises, very clearly defined. Now, this body is directly proportional to how well we breathe. In fact, many of us, when we go to the deep breathing, we realize we are not getting the required current into our system. Whenever there is a low voltage issue, kidney never functions, metabolism doesn't work, you are disturbed, agitated when your energy level is low. In fact, the other day I was in a school and the teachers wanted me to talk to the children, and they are just 4th standard children, 10-year-old, 9-year-old. They wanted me to talk on physical, mental, and emotional well-being. I was thinking how to give them the gist of this knowledge. Something came up. I asked the children, how many of you actually use mobiles. You won't believe, 99% of the children raise their hands. Then I thought, yes, this is the best medium for them to communicate on what yoga is all about. Because only when you communicate on their language or what they understand, it will be very easy for them to get the gist of it. So I just asked them, okay, all of you, you have mobiles. Now for example, what is a mobile? The mobile, if you see, is just the hardware. That's the hardware. This they know very well, it's the hardware. Now, this hardware is directly working on something called the battery. And this battery, we have to charge. We have to do so many things on that. And when I ask them, children, whenever you press the wrong buttons, you get wrong displays, right? Yes, all of them agree. And whenever you play games too much, your battery goes fast, right? Yes, they know that. Now, all these displays comes to you according to the button that you press. They know everything about it. Now, how does the displays come? The displays come according to the software or the chip daddy and mommy has given to you, right? Agreed. And then, according to the software is what you display, all the things on the screen. Coming back to yoga, I told them. We human beings, our body is just a hardware. This hardware is generating the power by the battery, that is the breath. For example, mobile requires a charger, but we have international chargers. You tell daddy to bring Kinder chocolates. When you come from office, the daddy comes with Kit Kat. What happens? Immediately, you say, no daddy, I want Kinder, not Kit Kat. And you jump and shout and yell. Finally, after that, he gives you, actually he bought Kinder and Kit Kat, he just wanted to see a melodrama. So, what he does is, he gives you Kinder, you're very happy. Why? Your software thinks Kinder is the best chocolate. Kit Kat is not good. So according to the software is what displays happens in the system. Likewise, if you see, all of us in our day-to-day life, our software has come from our parentage, our culture, our education, and whatever we have put into the software, there are little corrupted files, little viruses, non-acceptance of things, problems, situations, which we have to understand and rectify the software. When this software is rectified, automatically what happens is you have a fantastic system into you where you know how to integrate, correlate, and all the things that words that you mentioned, your integration happens to the personality of the person. And I also told them, we also installed antivirus. What is antivirus? Antivirus is meditation. Whenever, for example, you do regularly meditation, automatically it helps us to calm down. Now, after this session, I would just like to make you sit for 2 minutes in meditation. Are you ready?
Yes.
Please, before the meal, it's fantastic to meditate. Just sit straight, all of you. Sit straight, back straight. You can sit in chair asana. Right hand over the left. Just with your eyes closed for a moment. Make your body absolutely still. Let us be with yourself, all of us. Make your body absolutely still. Feel the stillness of your body. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, your face, back of your head, right and left ears, the neck, the right and left shoulders, back of your body, upper back, mid back, lower back, the chest, abdomen, the buttocks, the thighs, the knees, up to the toes. Feel your whole body absolutely still. Feel the stillness of your body. Whatever happens around, let it all happen. Just be with yourself. Slowly now, shift your awareness to the breath. Feel each ingoing and outgoing breath. Do not miss a single breath. Feel the freshness of the air as it goes deep within into the lungs and slowly comes out of the nostrils. Be absolutely still and feel the stillness. Whatever comes into the mind, let it all come. Do not reject any thoughts. You're an infinite ocean that encompasses and takes everything into your fold. That's your true nature, infinite consciousness. Do not reject anything that comes into the mind. Do not follow any thoughts, or do not create or hold on to a new thought. You're sitting absolutely quiet. Enjoy the stillness. Just be with yourself. The power of silence and sitting quietly. Just be with him for a moment. Deep introspection of your own self. Whatever comes, let it all come. You're sitting absolutely quiet. You should now slowly come out by looking down, bring your head down, look, open your eyes, just look down. Now slowly open your eyes, take deep breathing. Inhale and exhale slowly. Rub your palms against each other. Feel the warmth of your palms. Place them on your face in front of your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you. Now, coming back to the system. As I told you, we are made up of 5 dimensions. It's very beautiful to know, because even when you take a person or you buy an equipment, it's very important to know what are the capabilities, what are the different dimensions. Then alone, you can make yourself the best. So the first is the body, food sheet. Right food, exercises, helps your physical frame to be good and strong. And how well you learn to breathe helps you to be energized. And you can do breathing anywhere. Whether you are in a meeting, whether you are waiting for someone, whether you are traveling, you can have the best of the opportunity to get the best of energy into your system. And this breath is directly proportional to the mind. For example, whenever your dear one has not come home, you're supposed to reach at 7 o'clock. You're looking, the time is already 7:30. What happens? Immediately you call them, they don't pick the phone. Call their friend, they don't pick the phone. What happens? Pat starts. Breathlessness starts. Everything starts. Then you become panicky because you're not able to connect to the concern, your dear and your ones. So your breathlessness is directly proportional to your state of mind. And after half an hour, maybe he or she calls. Oh, Papa, I'm here. You're okay? I'm okay. Fine. What happens? Then your understanding sheet immediately realizes she or he is safe. The mind calms down. All the emotions that we express are nothing but displays of the understanding. Each and everything is linked. Body is linked with the breath. Breath is linked with the mind. Mind is linked with understanding. That's why, for example, a person who is afraid of snakes, if I put a snake on him, immediately, without even going anywhere, he sweats. Heartbeat goes up. Breathlessness happens. But a person who loves snakes, if I put a snake, he'll say, wow, this is a beautiful design. Because understanding is different. Each and every person in our life, for example, we say, knowledge is power. Knowledge, when you really broaden or understand, automatically we develop confidence, strength, courage, and everything. So we call it as Vijnanamaya Kosha, or scientific blend of mind. And the 5th Kosha, we call it as happiness sheet. All of us in the world, ultimately, whatever we do, ultimately is for that happiness. But the beauty is, you may be the most efficient person, that doesn't mean you are happy. You may have all the relationships, that doesn't mean you are happy. You may have all the facilities, that doesn't mean you are happy. But when you are happy within, you have realized your inner happiness. Why we are not happy is because we are trying to be happy. There's nothing to try. Your true nature is happiness. The moment you realize your true nature is happiness, naturally your efficiency is the best. You enjoy the best of relationships. And you enjoy getting all the facilities and really expressing and enjoying and giving the best out of it. That's why happiness is state of mind. And all of us for this happiness, we pray every day. You know, we pray to God, give us all the peace, all the love, all the happiness. And whenever I do a wrong, who knows it's a wrong first? Who knows? Who knows? It's me. Whenever I am not supposed to eat a food which is not good for me, the moment I eat, who knows? It's me. Naturally, it transcends into a feeling of guilt. This guilt transcends into your understanding, into the mind as emotions, into the body as the breath, and into the body as uneasiness. You say, I am not in ease, but I am in dis and ease. Diseases manifest. All the psychosomatic diseases that we suffer today is because of the uneasiness on the very higher level, thereby transcending into the body, and we say, I am not in ease, I am in dis and ease. And is there any cure for all these diseases? If you see, all the psychosomatic ailments, we go on treating and treating and treating for years, there is no cure. If ever, for example, you go to a workshop for your repair of your car, you may repair it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even in an hour or a day or two. But what happens? You go to a doctor for diabetic, 30 years you are getting treated. For what? Because the technical know-how is not there. This is where we need to realize the source of the problem is you, the solution is you. This is where we need to realize how to manage our system. Today, we are all falling in crisis. Why we are in crisis? We don't have time for ourselves. We always stretch. Today meeting, tomorrow family, tomorrow guest. You go on stretching and stretching and stretching and stretching. Only when you land on the stretcher, you know you are being stretched too much, right or wrong? But then you have all the time, all the money to spend, and all the operations are done. Operations are always successful, but patient dies. Why? Because we don't understand the source of the disease, we are just treating the diseases. And what are the medicines that we take are nothing but synthetic chemicals. Your body is a bio-organic magnetic system. Whenever you take these synthetic chemicals, kidney goes, liver goes, pancreas goes, everything goes, and finally I also go. The problem is, we need to realize how yogic science can help you in the essence of management. For example, when you go to Ayurvedic, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, acidity or acid, alkali and gaseous content we are all made up of. We call it as Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Any imbalances can be rectified. But again, there is no direct cure for a diabetic or a depression or for any other diseases because it always is psychosomatic again. Go to homeopathy, you have been to homeopathy, doctors will ask you, what do you like to eat? How do you sleep? What is the best way and how do you like it, hot or cold? What? For what? Because they want to know what are the characteristics of your personality. Why? The chemical imbalances in the body shows on your personality traits. The moment you realize it, automatically they give you concentrated extracts taken from various sources to similarize the chemicals into your system. This is how homeopathy treats. Now how does yoga comes into the highest of health and yoga is not just an exercise, neither a breathing, neither a medicine, it's a combination of everything that helps you to understand and manage your day-to-day life. How yoga comes to the highest of management. For example, we all have problems in life, challenges in life, where we have to interact with. Life is not a bed of roses. When your child is having an examination, the child cannot say, I am stressed and depressed. A child who has not studied is stressed and depressed. But a child who has studied wants to write examination. Likewise in life, whenever the inability or incapacity to face a person or a situation or circumstance is what makes me stressed. Otherwise, there's nothing in the world that's stress or depression. If you know your potentiality, you can tackle anything in the world. That's where we need to realize how the management principles has to be understood. And this integration of the knowledge is the science of this essence of yoga. We call it as harmonious existence. All of you have noticed meditation, for example. Whenever your friend is in trouble, we are always going to help them, support them and everything. But when it comes to my problem, what goes? Why? When you are able to take decisions for others, why are you not able to take decisions for yourself? Because whenever it's their problem, you are relaxed. That's why. Whenever it's others' problem, I am relaxed. Meditation is a methodology, a practice that has been evolved and given to us, but we have not understood. Today there are 1,000 types of meditation. The moment you realize that, automatically you can understand it's a fantastic methodology for you to shift from the normal disturbing state of emotions to the extraordinary state of human existence. This when you realize, automatically what happens is, at any given point of time, you are the master of your life. No one has to tell you what to do. You are very calm, relaxed, and this helps you to have clarity. And this is what is the science of meditation as well. In fact, other day I was called to one of the medical universities in Oman to give a talk to it because a child came from there absolutely depressed for 2.5 years. They were giving her treatment on tablets and tablets. She came and did a program, and in 10 days she was out of depression. She said, I don't want any more medicines. So the authorities there, in fact the doctors, they wanted to know what did you do. They called me, explained to them the entire gist of it. Thereby, they asked me, if yoga is inculcated in the medical curriculum, it will be detrimental to the modern science. I said, if yoga is inculcated in the medical curriculum, then we are doing something to humanity, others only making money out of our people's ignorance. Today, they have called me for classes also, because it is a knowledge which all of us have to understand. It is nothing about anything else, it's about you. Today, I can tell you, plenty of our diseases is our own creation. Even diabetes, arthritis, asthma, plenty of these are basically psychosomatic, and it can be relaxed, refreshed, even cured in many cases, which we have seen now. For example, the body knows much better than anyone else in the world. Whenever you eat something which is bad for the stomach, the taste is fantastic. The moment it goes into the stomach, the body says, my dear, don't accept it. Stop all these things. And body says, expel it. It creates little fluids, more to throw it out. What do? We think vomiting is a disease. We go and say, doctor, I am feeling nausea. Go take a tablet. Stop it. Now the system doesn't come out. Now the body thinks, oh my God, this fellow, he doesn't even know how to expel. Now what is the next step? Let me take it out to dysentery, the body thinks. But the moment you start going to toilet again, doctor, I am going to toilet. Stop it. What happened? All the unwanted things is always in the system. Body is the best doctor, a scientist, anything, provided you know the methodology. I like to tell you, it's a fantastic knowledge. It is something that each one of us, at least some time we need to dedicate. Because the most invaluable asset in the world is you. If you're there, everything else falls in place. If you're not there, what's the use of anything else in the world? And relationship, family, harmony is the key to the best of existence. For this, each and every individual, if you realize this, automatically the world is a fantastic place. And I'm sure, I'm really thankful to the organization, National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, and Lawrence and the team, for really giving me the opportunity. And I would like to even thank Salehat. The reason for me to be here in Dubai is he is the person I know him for the last 10 years. So I'm really indebted to him and the entire team for giving me an opportunity. I would like to answer any questions if at all you would love to ask. I think we have time. I have time, yeah. I would like to have, if you have any interactions or questions to ask, you can always ask. Anyone? Yes.
Okay, insomnia be cured.
Pardon?
Insomnia.
Of course it can be cured. Insomnia can be cured. Insomnia is the state of mental, whenever your mind is upset or stressed up or thinking too much, automatically you land up with sleeplessness. One more thing we need to realize, many of us, whenever we don't physically exert ourselves, the body doesn't want physical rest. Because your mind is totally working, you don't have that much of physical activity. Have you noticed, the moment you run or do any physical exercise, you don't have to tell to sleep, it will sleep. Whereas, for example, whenever nowadays we don't exert physically that much, we have sleeplessness. And there are methodologies. Another thing is, when it's a vicious circle, the moment you don't get sleep, you always think the other person is sleeping. Why am I not getting sleep? And again you worry about it. You again land up not sleeping at all. Try to understand, whenever your physical activity is more, you naturally sleep. Realize the body tells you, whenever your physical activity is less, you don't have to require that much of physical sleep, but your mind has to be relaxed. For mind to be relaxed, just put a little cotton and just lie down. And when the body wants the rest, it will sleep. Another thing is how to overcome them by the essence of meditation. Because meditation helps you to nullify all the disturbances in the mind. Because whenever you are in a somebodyness, we call it as somebodyness, I am bounded by others' emotions, other situations, other circumstances. In meditation, you are nobody. But you can be everybody. That's the beauty of it. Because your true nature is to be good. You don't have to act good. In this, somebodyness, we are always a slave. In meditation, nothing bothers you. And you give your fullness, naturally no one can stop giving their fullness back to you. That's the beauty of it. So once these things are understood, you can always overcome insomnia. Yes, sir. Thank you. And we have a 10-day course. In fact, this helps to eliminate plenty of psychosomatic ailments. It's a very good program which helps to overcome. In other words, we do the Pancha Kosha Shuddhi, Sharira Shuddhi, Prana Shuddhi, Manas Shuddhi, means body sheath, foot sheath, air sheath, understanding, we interact on different subjects, and ultimately you realize the essence of happiness which is already inset into you, and this realization gives you everything that you want into your life. Anyone else? Anything else you want to know? Yes, sir.
You talked about yoga as a potential cure for many of our illnesses. But as we all know, all human beings have weaknesses in life. They are not necessarily related to the mind, but I think, for example, greed is one of them.
Yeah.
No matter how much I have, many of us always look for something more.
Of course.
How do you
Very good. It's a good, beautiful question. Very good. In fact, for example, desire is the mouse, we call it. The rat, if you see, is always looking for things. If you see in Ganesha, the vehicle is mouse. Why the vehicle is mouse? The mouse in me is what is making me move around all the day. How much ever tired you are, you want to run around while achieving your desires. Desires, for example, desires is not the objective in life. Desires only the pathway to achieve the objective. When desires become objective, there is no end to desires. This is where we need to realize. For example, our own stomach, if you observe, my stomach is limited. That's why I stop eating. Otherwise, given a chance, we will go on eating. Because it's limited. Even your senses, if you observe, how much ever perfumes you have, you want one more new one when you see. How much ever people tell you, I love you, again you want to hear, do you really love me? Again you want. Why? Because it's not enough. All the time you require more and more and more of these things. But if you realize what is the base of the balance between materialism and spiritualism, then alone you can bring in that balance. For example, many people today go into suicides. You know why? Because they think life is only materialistic approach to life. Everything, I want that, I want this, so many things. But once you feel you are not getting it and it's not working in your life, people end up with suicides. Why? Because you have not realized there's something much more higher than what you see in the external world. You yourself is a highly potential existence of spirituality where you realize when you have understood yourself, automatically the external world is nothing. Cutting a balance in the world is my life. Even a sea, for example, 6 meters, if the water rises, there is no earth. Every day, like every season, every day has 4 seasons. Every year has 4 seasons. The world is in a balance. If this balance is not understood by me, naturally I land up into disasters. Too much of materialism, you destroy your body. Too much of spirituality, you don't experience the world. Cut a balance in life. This is where we need to bring in a balanced life. And that balance in life brings in the deep inner contentment. That inner contentment gives you joy, happiness, and you start expressing yourself in fullness. Naturally, life is in your hands. That's why. Clear on?
What is the experience in the treatment of cancer in the yoga way?
Yeah. Many times it is said cancer is a disease which cannot be cured. For example, many of the problems we need to realize is our anger, emotions, frustrations, anxieties has a great impact on our system, which we don't realize. We generally go, take a test, see what are the things, do chemo, do all these treatments. You need to realize your ears, for example. The ears, for example, if you observe, whenever this ear is connected to all the organs in the body, the senses, the heart, the liver, whenever you are having fear, immediately kidney works. Immediately. The other day a person had gone to one hospital for a medical checkup. The doctor called him to the clinic, to his room, and said, I would like to disclose something to you. Actually, you have got blood cancer. And we have to say it because we cannot hide anything as per our things. But don't worry, we'll do whatever we can. This gentleman, the moment he heard, immediately he started working on his own system. The moment he went home, he didn't tell anyone. He was eating himself, worried about himself, what to do, what not to do. After 10 days, suddenly from the hospital they are telling, please come, we want to meet you immediately. The moment he went, they all stood up and said, sir, we are very sorry to say, actually it was not your report. It was someone else's. But by the time this fellow has become almost like this. Why? Because the moment the element of fear comes, he is not dying because of cancer but because of fear. Fear is what destroys the system. Likewise in our day-to-day life, plenty of problems happen in the system. Cancer is something, sometimes you may see a person who may not be even drinking, smoking or doing anything, but he lands with cancer. Why? You need to realize the personality of the person. The personality of the person is, he might be holding many of his problems within, not expressing it, not telling it, and eating himself all the time. I don't want to give pain to others. Whenever he does it, the innumerable glands in the body, we call them laboratories, they secrete negative acidic chemicals or negative emotions, help to secrete negative acidic chemicals into the system. It destroys your healthy cells in the body, and that is cancerous. This is why the moment the person accepts it and takes responsibility, we are doing two things in life. Either we act on it or we sit and react on it. The moment you act on it, in other words, you take actions on it, you can actually overcome them. But many a time, the moment we react on it. Life is only of two things. There is no quantum physics. Nature is only digital. Either it is there or not there. Either you appreciate life or you depreciate life. Whenever you are appreciating means you are doing actions to achieve things. Whenever you are reacting to things, you are depreciating your life all the time, worried, tensed up, agitated. This has an impact on the body systems. The beauty of this, other day one lady had pancreatic cancer. The doctor said, your life is only 6 months, that's what we can do, nothing more we can do for that. She said, anyhow, I have only 6 months, let me do what I love to do. She took up the responsibility and she immediately switched to entire offers, yoga, breathing, meditation, started living her own life, absolutely responsible for herself. You won't believe, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 1.5 years, she's hale and healthy. Now she wanted to know what happened to the pancreas. She realized when she tested, pancreas is absolutely fine, no traces of pancreatic cancer. This is the beauty of human system. Whenever you are worried and agitated and tensed up, the innumerable laboratories in the body start secreting negative acidic chemicals to destroy the healthy conditions of your body. Whereas you take responsibility and you take action to achieve your objective, naturally the system comes in place. That's why. Many of the diseases, for example, diabetic nowadays has become a chronic disease. I have seen in my 10-day courses, I give them jaggery-based drinks, I give them fruit salad. In diabetic, I said not to eat any sugar, you are not to eat this, you are not to eat that. So when I give them all of these, in 10 days I see them very energetic. And I give them all the fruit salad and everything. I was thinking, what happened? Why is it happening? Why are they coming back to normal? This led me to understand a beautiful truth. We are all made up of billions of cells. Ultimately, the cell consists of two things essential for the burning of cells or getting energy into the body. One is you should have glucose, other is you should have oxygen. Now, all the food that we eat, whether it is your chocolate, your potatoes, your starch, or your carbohydrates or anything, ultimately is sugar. This sugar is not taken into the cells unless passed by the checkpoint called pancreas. This pancreas has to give a covering of insulin, then only it can go into the cells. Now, many of our problem today is our eating pattern, the way we eat, the things that we eat, the way of drinking water, all these things has a great see. We are all guided by 5 elements, whether you know it or not. Because your unhealthy habits of eating, the methodology of eating, whatever sugar you eat ultimately becomes unhealthy. There's nothing in the world to test whether the food that you eat or the sugar that you eat is healthy or unhealthy. Whenever the unhealthy sugar gets into your system, naturally pancreas doesn't pass it. It says, no my dear, I cannot approve. And what happens? It pushes into the urine. And urine has to have sugar. Urine will have sugar. The kidney, for example, has to work more to push it out. Naturally, dehydration you will feel. And in the blood you will have sugar, but you will be tired, exhausted. Whereas, immediately we go, what happens with the doctor? They say, don't worry, welcome to the family of diabetes. Don't worry, what's it? No problem. Just take a small tablet. What's this tablet doing? It's like a gunda. No more checking. Go directly to the cells. When it goes directly to the cells, what happens? Those persons who are working on the computer, eye has problem. Those who are working with the legs and feet, tiredness. Those who are working on thinking too much, brain problem. Because you are not getting sufficient healthy sugar into your system to be burned. All other chemicals can go. Whenever you are becoming unconscious, only because the 2 factors, either the sugar is not there or oxygen is not there. Rest of it, minerals are not there, no problem. Whereas, whenever we understand this and realize it, and you eat healthy, you think healthy, you work on yourself healthy, you are manufacturing healthy sugar. There is nothing in diabetic you can overcome them. This we have been seeing nowadays, and I'm sure if you work on it, I'm telling you, you can overcome plenty of your health issues. A child is vaccinated because the child has all components of health into it. Elders are not given vaccination. Why? 4 components are required to rectify the system. One is technical know-how. Second is the place where materials can be taken to rectify. Third is all the components should be there in the system. And last, it should be healthy. For a child, if you observe, a child is having it, the body knows the technical know-how. Mother doesn't know, father doesn't know, child doesn't know, but the body knows how to take care of the system. So whenever a virus is injected into the system, immediately the scientists, doctors in the body immediately assemble and realize, my dear, someone has attacked them. So immediately they go, and this registers into them as a technical know-how. So next time a virus comes, it has a knowledge. Secondly, the component, for example, even in the fetus of a mother, only the blood comes after 1 month. The entire child gets the blood and materials, everything from the mother. That's why we have step because of our mother's name, because entire blood comes from the mother. Now, this mother's blood can manufacture liver, kidney, brain, everything. Now, whenever a person has 6 children, all are working all over the world, when mother gets a kidney problem, why she can't repair? If you have a company which is manufacturing 100 or 1,000 cars, when a problem comes to 1 car, why can't you rectify? This is where we need to realize, it is our imbalances in the Panchabhuta. What is the Panchabhuta? Fire, wind, space, earth, water. Whenever imbalances in the elements happen, fire is what? Lack of exercise. Then the body heat doesn't work, the lymphatic system doesn't work properly. Lymphatic system is required to purify, rectify, energize, and get the best for you. Then only the body heat is maintained. Second is called prana, this air shield. Oxygen, though we may be breathing, the oxygen level may be less. That's why we need to realize how to enhance the oxygen level. Third is space. Even in a traffic, if you see there's no space, the vehicle doesn't move. Sometimes your husband or wife says, oh my God, give me a little space. Why? That space is required in life. Even anything in the blood also, we require space. You're sleeping, you're resting, is there for the blood to have space to run into the system. Space is a very important element. Third is the food that we eat. This is very important. For example, earth element we call it. All the food, all the junk food that we eat, it has an impact on the system. All the chemical brings has an impact on the system. Lastly, the water. Very important. If you can understand and bring in a balance in the elements of your system, plenty of the diseases or uneasiness can be eliminated also. Clear? I think I have not seen that in my time. So I will thank you very much. Thank all the organizers for the wonderful opportunity.